Am I the a-hole stories? Update: Am I the a-hole for getting upset about my boyfriend's guys' nights? Original post. So me and my boyfriend, Carl, have the same friend group. There's 5 guys and 3 girls, including myself, who are all dating guys in this group. For context, I was introduced to the group 4 years ago and I started dating Carl over a year ago. He joined a year before we dated. Anyway, onto the story. So, the boys in my friend group have started a thing called Guys Night, where they go out and do everything we all do together, but without us girls. Here's the thing, all of my friends are the boys. I don't know the girls in the group too well, and while I have friends outside the group, I'm nowhere near as close with them as I am this group. They say they need to spend some quality time with their friends, and that if I went, they'd have to invite their girlfriends. And it's not every so often, it's every 2 weeks on a Saturday, which is the one day I can go out. So basically, while my boyfriend goes out with all my friends, I have to be stuck at home by myself. And what's worse is, when we all do hang out, they constantly bring up stuff that happened on Guys Night, saying, "You had to be there." This had been going on months. Last night, my boyfriend came over to mine from Guys Night, really happy, and was texting his friends, when I asked him why I couldn't go. He made a vague gesture at my chest and crotch, saying I wasn't a guy. I then asked him why he couldn't skip it to spend the night with me, and he rolled his eyes. I lost it. I started crying and screaming at him, calling him an a-hole for allowing me to be completely isolated when I've told him how horrible it is. He ended up leaving and called me a witch. He's staying with one of our friends, who's saying I was being the jerk for yelling at him that way. The girls all agree with me though, and I don't know if I should apologize. Edit: I feel like everyone is confusing what I'm saying. I'm not mad he has his own hobbies, that's amazing. I'm just upset that I'm being excluded because of my gender, from my friends who I introduced him to. I've been told explicitly this by him and his friends. Also, we don't live together, and I only see him a few times a week. I should also add, my boyfriend sees all his friends during the week, but they schedule Guys Night on the one night I can go out. As I said in a comment, I see him 2 to 3 times a week and he sees them at least 4 times. 5 on Guys Night. I see my friends once a fortnight. Now for the top comments before the update. Not the a-hole, and I can't believe how many people are being jerks about it, after having misread your post and with you clearly stating multiple times in the comments: 1. You don't have a problem with him hanging with the guys per se, 2. You don't live together, and 3. You are upset because literally, the only time you have free to spend time with your friends happens to fall on the same night you are being excluded from the friend group. You are not the a-hole. But the people posting here that you are, without taking the time to think critically before responding to beat you up, are the a-holes. And, if your guy can't see that, he is selfish. If your guy friends can't see that, get new friends, because they suck. Good luck. Thank you for looking at it objectively. I appreciate it. Everyone sucks here, but only slightly. This is just an awful situation all around. You can't expect to be included in everything. They are allowed to have a boys' night out. But I do suggest you find some new friends though, as they clearly don't look at you as a close friend the same way you look at them. If they purposefully exclude you half the time you can go out, that should tell you a thing or two about how they feel about you. Also, your boyfriend sounds like an a-hole. Gesturing to your body and using that as the excuse just made my blood boil. I absolutely hate it when people do that. So yeah, find new friends, people who actually care about you and want to spend time with you. I'm trying, but I'm struggling in the pandemic. The thing is that, my friends say they want to invite me, but if they do, then they'll have to invite their girlfriends. Why do they have to invite their girlfriends? If you have been in the group longer than your boyfriend, it is natural that you would be invited. Looks to me like you are just a +1 to them. Because the girlfriends are annoyed at it as well and want to go. And now for the update. So about 2 weeks ago, I posted here asking if I was the a-hole for getting mad at my boyfriend for his guy nights. The post didn't get a lot of attention, but the attention it did get was controversial, and there was a lot of differing opinions, so I figured I'd do an update as a lot has happened. So after I posted, I ended up contacting the girlfriends in the group to see what was up, and we started noticing some fishy stuff. Their boyfriends and the guys in the group would say the exact same things to them as they did to me. Stuff like, "We'd invite you, but then the other girls will want to come." We also figured out that there were other nights that all the guys were free, but that wanted to do Saturdays for some reason. One of the girls, Hannah, was suspicious of this for many other reasons, so she checked her boyfriend's phone. I don't condone what she did at all, by the way, but in this circumstance, I excused it. While looking, she found a group chat called Boys Night, which she had never heard of. She was super suspicious at this point, and clicked it to be greeted by a bunch of very interesting messages from the boys in our group. Well, guess what? Turns out guys' night was really, go to a pub and cheat on your girlfriend night. The message was in reference to one of the girls my boyfriend was sleeping with last week. In fact, all the other guys except one were cheating, while the other knew but kept quiet. Another lovely discovery from the chat was that he hasn't been using protection with the other women or with me, birth control, meaning, not only has he been cheating, he has also been putting me at high risk of an STD, while also risking mine and my elderly grandfather's life because of COVID. Needless to say, we've broken up and I feel better for it, but right now I'm friendless, single and waiting on STD results, which doesn't feel fantastic. So yep. Definitely not the update I was hoping to do, but life clearly doesn't turn out the way you plan. Now for some top comments. This sucks, but at least you know now and can be better off without him, and the rest of your so-called friends. Maybe you could try and make friends with the ex-girlfriends now? I will say though, as someone who had friends who turned out to be not so great, don't feel like the time spent with them before your boyfriend was wasted. Were you happy with them? Did you have fun? Don't think of it as wasted time then, just time with people who turned out not so great. I'm not saying to forgive them, forgive yourself. I'm just saying don't regret, or be angry with yourself for having a good time with people who turned out to not be as nice as you thought. Enjoy your memories and don't let them taint them or you'll live in regret. Thanks, I'll try. I'm friendless, single and waiting on STD results, which doesn't feel fantastic. You get to start 2021 with a nice fresh and clean slate with less drama and garbage in your life. I know it probably doesn't feel like it right now, but I 100% guarantee you that this is actually a great blessing in disguise. Well, hopefully a clean slate. That's the first proper laugh I've had since this happened, thank you. Your ex-boyfriend and his friends are terrible birds flocking together. Not even going to talk about the morals of that one guy who didn't cheat because he's guilty by association, and didn't do the right thing. I don't know if anything changed between you and the girls who the boys cheated on. Sometimes women bond and have great friendships when something this horrible happened to them, especially with a cheating pact. Honestly, I've heard of pregnancy pacts, but cheating? Wow, that's a new low for cheaters. It's better finding out now than to find out years down the line that your boyfriend was cheating and continued to cheat. You've wasted enough time with him already, don't let his stupidity plague your mind. Chin up and walk forth. Show him you can do much better than him. I hope the cheater's parents find out how horrible their childhood turned out. Must be a disappointing Christmas family gathering later. Hopefully you get a clean bill of health and get wrapped in happiness soon like a burrito. The worst part is they're not even his friends, they were OP's friends first. Edit. Wow, I really was not expecting this response. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm at work at the moment and will try to respond as much as possible, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. And also, thank you for the award. I'm very overwhelmed by all the kindness. I just thought I'd add a few things. 1. COVID isn't bad where I am, Australia, but when we hang out we social distance with masks. You can't social distance during intercourse, which is where my fear of COVID comes from. 2. One of the girls dumped her boyfriend, who wasn't cheating but knew, and the other took him back, he was cheating. And finally, 3. I'm STD free. I got a call an hour ago and I'm so completely relieved, now I can start to move on. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother's girlfriend to F off? I, 18 female, have 5 brothers. Gal, 17, Leo, 20, Ben, 21, Kai, 22, and Jay, 24, and I'm the only girl. My mom isn't around, but that's a story for another day. It's just been the 6 of us and my dad since I was about 6. Just to paint a clear enough picture, we all live at home plus Jay's girlfriend, May. So, Kai has been dating his girlfriend, 21 female, who I'll call Sue, for nearly 8 months, and she's hated me since the beginning. When she started coming around, she would always give me dirty looks, make nasty comments about my outfits. 4 months in, she started to actualize anything I did with my brothers. I would give them a small hug when leaving, and say I love you. I didn't see anything wrong with that. She'd say it was weird that I was 18, and still hugging my brothers and my dad shouldn't give me a kiss on the forehead because only couples do that. She said it looked dirty, and she didn't feel comfortable with the hugs. So, Kai stopped allowing me to hug him, and when I say I love you, he doesn't say it back anymore. At one point, Jay and May had spoken up on my behalf because she was being a complete witch to me. May said Sue was the only person who sees anything wrong with how we are, and she was disgusting. No one in our house likes her. Today, Sue came into my room without knocking, and seen I was lying down in an old shirt of Kai's, as they give me their old shirts sometimes. If the shirt is long enough I'll sleep in just the shirt, which I was doing, but I always make sure my door is closed, and if it isn't, I wear shorts or stay under my blanket. She got upset, saying I needed to stop trying to be so close with Kai. That it wasn't normal sibling behavior? I reminded her she walked into my room not giving me enough time to cover up, plus it was a complete invasion of my privacy, and I didn't see how I was trying to be close when I was only wearing his old shirt. I finally had enough, when she said I was an attention seeker and I dressed provocatively around my brothers and dad to get their attention. She topped it off with, "I don't see how May could live here because of how needy you act." So I told her to F off, and that there was something mentally wrong with her. Now is where I ask if I am the a-hole, because Kai is mad at me, saying she was having a bad day and I should have taken her feelings into consideration. He was at work when it happened, but May was home along with Cal and they heard it all go down. They backed me up, but my brother thinks I should still apologize for being mean, and shutting the door in her face. He hasn't talked to me since it happened either. Now for the comments. While legally you are all considered adults, your father as the parent and presumed homeowner, should have nipped this in the bud immediately. If I was your dad, I would have informed both Kai and his girlfriend, she was no longer permitted in my home, period. He would be welcome to move out if he didn't agree with me. Not the a-hole. Agreed, not once was the father brought up in having done or said something. Dad should have a talk with Kai and his girlfriend to get to the bottom of the issues the girlfriend has with OP. Not the a-hole, just start loudly asking what her obsession with incest is, every time she talks crap to you. Or why she feels the need to actualize everything you do. OP should say, "Oh my god, why are you so obsessed with me," every time the girlfriend say anything to her. Not the a-hole. His girlfriend is a jealous freak. Red flags all around. That one is going to be trouble. I totally agree, not the a-hole. She sounds over the top and abusive, but her brother is too besotted to see it. Edit. A lot of people are asking about my dad and I realize I hadn't said much about him, but he isn't around much to be honest. He works a lot, so he's only ever been present for less than 10% of her BS. And a lot of you also think I should talk to him / have a family meeting, and I'll try to talk to everyone around dinner maybe. A big thank you to everyone who's replied too. Someone mentioned sitting down with Jay's girlfriend, May, and talking to Kai, which I totally like. And if by some dumb reason he still doesn't believe Sue is in the wrong, I'll just send him the link to this post and call it a day lol. Am I the a-hole for telling my late fiancé's dad that I will call the police when he took the engagement ring? My fiancé passed away last March from infection. She was dealing with organ failure and was becoming weaker. She was 25 and I'm 30. I proposed to her at the hospital, because the longer I waited, the worse her condition got, and we were only engaged for a few days. She went into a coma and passed away. I was devastated and mad. I was mad at everyone, and had so much anger and grief that I was too weak to deal with. I just couldn't deal with the fact that I had no choice but to start to learn to live without her. It was incredibly hard phase and I'm still learning to adapt, but I have some of her stuff that bring me comfort and a bit of joy. This is my first Christmas without her, and I wanted to do what I did every year and buy her a nice gift, but I don't know where to take it, frankly. Lately, her dad has been contacting me, wanted to come and take some of my fiancé's stuff, even though he already took what he wanted. I told him to wait for me till I get home, but he must have had the spare key that my fiancé had. It's my apartment and he never returned it to me. In 2 hours, he called me and said that he already sorted through her stuff, and took what he needed. I was pretty pissed at this point because there's stuff that are sentimental to me, and I had no idea what he took. I got home and I found that among the stuff he took, was my fiancé's engagement ring. The reason I knew he took it, is that the ring was in my closet, not with her things. The way my clothes were scattered was an indicator he had no business going through my things and taking it. I called him several times, but only his wife, fiancé's stepmom, responded. He called me back at 11 p.m, and I asked him if he took the ring I proposed to my late fiancée with. He avoided the question, then said that he indeed took it. I lost it. I told him he had no right to even be in my bedroom and take something that belongs to me. He corrected me, saying the ring was on his daughter's finger before she passed away, therefore it was hers and he gets to keep it. I argued with him and told him I paid for the ring, and also, and more importantly, is that this ring belongs with me since it's a sample of my relationship with my fiancée and I just can't let go of it like that. He reminded me that I'm not her husband, and that from now on, he doesn't have to deal with me. I got so mad at him I told him he has 2 days to bring it back, or I'll call the cops. He hung up after calling me names. Family and close friends heard from him, and said I was out of my mind to call the police on my late fiancé's father no matter the reason. They didn't let me explain, and said that my pain and grief are nothing compared to a parent losing their child. They've all called me pathetic and attention-seeking. God knows what. But I insisted and told them that I'll do it. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. And he still has your key. Yes, he does. And I don't know if he made other copies. I thought I had the key returned after the funeral, but I was too tired and didn't know for sure. Maybe he made another copy, I really don't know. Change the locks and call the police. You were robbed. He stole from you. I'm so sorry, my deepest condolences. It would have been justified calling the police even if he didn't take the ring, because he let himself into your home without permission. You were actually robbed. Call the police, get that ring back. It's hard for both of you, without a doubt, but he is acting unreasonable and immature. I'm so sorry you're dealing with all of this, I hope it gets resolved quickly. I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the a-hole. What he did was burglary. He entered your home without your permission and removed property that didn't belong to him. It doesn't matter that she was his daughter, that doesn't give him any rights to her property. When an engagement ends in anything other than marriage, it's customary for the ring to be returned. There are a lot of people who feel that an engagement ring is a gift and shouldn't be returned, but it's a symbol of an exchange between a couple, and nobody outside that couple gets a say. Also, change your locks, if you haven't already. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.